Evidence, the keys, was processed a month later. What police department take evidence off somebody and process it a month later? Keys that they saying that was in a file cabinet, locked up in the sergeant's office. Who is to believe that? What person in their right mind wouldn't just put them in evidence and then check them out when they need them? You did everything else that you took up off of me like that, processed the same day or the next day. I mean, there was a lot of stuff that was done that I just can't remember right off back that was wrong.
An I-Team exclusive tonight, the Hudson family killer. William Balfour is serving life in prison for murdering 3 members of actress-singer Jennifer Hudson's family on the South Side in 2008. Tonight, Balfour talked publicly for the first time. Here's investigative reporter Chuck Gowdy. Chuck?
Ron, the murders received worldwide attention. William Balfour was Jennifer Hudson's brother-in-law at the time and was arrested right away the day of the killings. So he was never confronted by relatives or reporters, and he never testified at his trial. So when he offered to talk for the first time, the I-Team came with a list of tough questions. William Balfour, inmate K76904, asked to meet with the I-Team to explain why he says he shouldn't be here at all.
I ain't had nothing to do with the case. I don't know who did the case.
The case, as he puts it, was a triple murder here in Englewood, in the home of his estranged wife, Julia, Jennifer Hudson's sister. A jury found that on October 24th, 2008, Balfour shot and killed Hudson's mother and brother and abducted her 7-year-old nephew in a jealous rage. The youngster found shot to death in this stolen SUV. Police said the keys were found in Balfour's pocket, and witnesses said they had seen Balfour with a distinctive chrome and black pistol like this that was used in the murders. Did you ever have the gun?
No.
So the people who said that they saw you with the gun were lying?
Exactly.
We had 1 hour with Balfour here at Pontiac, Illinois' oldest prison, built 140 years ago. He's among 1,500 of the state's most violent men. During the interview, he accused many of the prosecution's 81 trial witnesses of lying, including his friends and then-wife Julia. She testified that Balfour had repeatedly threatened to kill her family and then her. You wanted her dead, didn't you?
No, not at all. We wasn't even in a relationship anymore.
You told people that you wanted her dead, didn't you?
That never occurred. Them are all allegations.
You never said it?
No, never, not one time. The thing that got me is when my ex-wife got up on the stand and she knew for a fact that I never made a threat to her. When they was asked why didn't she get an order of protection, she said she didn't believe me. I mean, I can assume that she had something to do with it, just off of that fact.
Your ex-wife?
Right, but I'm not going to do that.
Well, you just did.
No, I said I can assume that. I'm not saying that she had something to do with it. I didn't do that.
Well, what motive would she have?
I don't know. I say I can assume that she had something to do with it.
34-year-old Balfour is a career criminal. The police paperwork on him pages long. Since age 14, a gangbanger, carjacker, burglar, and drug dealer, a 10th grade dropout whose father and brother are both ex-cons.
begin with that breaking news. Police just made an arrest in connection with the stabbing of 2 children in Brooklyn.
Here's the photo of the man police were searching for. Daniel St. Hubert was captured minutes after the NYPD released his photo to the public.
TV 1055's Dave Carlin is live in Lower Manhattan with more on the arrest tonight for us. Dave.
Dick and Alice, here it is. The photos, the flyer of Daniel St. Hubert, the man wanted for these child stabbings in that Brooklyn elevator. Let's show you 1PP. This is where we are, because as this arrest was going down, what we had was a news conference right here. And what it was the police commissioner and the mayor releasing those photos and telling us more about this suspect. And they were wrapping it up, releasing these 2 photos of St. Hubert when the arrest happened.
Past half hour, I was in the courtroom as Daniel St. Hubert appeared before a judge for the first time. Let's show you video from that arraignment as prosecutors read the charges, calling them vicious and heinous, these crimes. And you can actually see St. Hubert briefly and imperceptibly shake his head as if to say no as the prosecutor laid out this case. We learned new details, including how eyewitnesses watched St. Hubert enter the building at the Boulevard houses along with these 2 kids. And a few minutes later, he ran out, falling on his way, then picked himself up and kept running. And at the very spot where he had fallen, prosecutors say that's where police found the bloody knife, and on the handle of that knife, DNA that matched the violent career criminal. How eyewitnesses watched St. Hubert enter the building at the Boulevard houses along with these 2 kids. And a few minutes later, he ran out, falling on his way, then picked himself up and kept running. And at the very spot where he had fallen, prosecutors say that's where police found the bloody knife, and on the handle of that knife, DNA that matched the violent career criminal. Tonight, Daniel St. Hubert emerged from a police precinct into the glare of camera lights and the screams of hecklers. And for the briefest of moments, he appeared to wink. For the briefest of moments, he appeared to wink.
Police arrested St. Hubert a total of 10 times prior to the elevator attack on the children. His arrest record dates back to 2006. The charges vary from assault to criminal possession of marijuana. But in 2009, he was charged with attempted murder. The victim? His own mother. Police say he punched Brazil in the face and tried to strangle her with a telephone cord. For that, he was convicted and sentenced to 5 years in prison.
Do you think the system failed your family, failed your son?
I didn't say that, I don't know.
Pix 11 obtained St. Hubert's disciplinary report while he was incarcerated. It shows violent behavior and assault on prison staff and more. His mother was happy the day he was released. 9 days after that, police responded to this.
A 6-year-old boy, along with a 7-year-old girl, was stabbed by an unknown male perpetrator.
Before we ended the interview with St. Hubert's mother, she broke down. Cried for the children caught in this terrible tragedy and for her only son. She believes the only thing that can help now is prayer.
I'm going to still believe in him. Even that happened, I'm going to say why that happened, why something like that.
St. Hubert is going back and forth from Rikers Island to Bellevue Hospital while he waits for his next court date. His mother cannot visit him because of an order of protection. Nicole Johnson, Pix 11 News.
Morning, including Mayor de Blasio, other elected officials, and the head coach of the Chicago Bulls, seen here on the left. PJ's cousin is Bulls forward Taj Gibson.
It's going to be real hard, just having that young face running around the barbecues, always saying, pick me up.
A mystery.
Tonight, federal agents have joined the hunt for a possible spree shooter who's been terrorizing the Kansas City area. Police sources say some of the 13 shootings are connected.
We're revealing a mile-high mystery in the Denver sky, a strange object caught on camera flying over the city, and nobody I mean, nobody can explain what it is.
Tonight, it's a mystery no more. We have the goods on the Google barge off Treasure Island. Tonight, it's a mystery no more. We have the goods on the Google barge off Treasure Island.
It's a story you'll see only on KPIX5.
Now back to that mysterious missile launch. The bright light could easily be seen up in L.A., but tonight we're still trying to figure out what it was.
News 8's Marcella Lee did some digging and joins us with how tough it was to find an answer. Marcella?
Update for you on our top story. We've got breaking news coming in with respect to a mystery behind the missile launch out over the West Coast.
Well, right now, what looks like a mystery missile.
The story of Malaysia Air 370 is incredible. It's a mystery. It's one of the biggest mysteries any of us has ever seen.
It is a lot of secrecy, but some are saying that the mystery for Google is the mastery.
A mystery worthy of Hollywood, but tragically, it's no fiction. Just over 2 weeks ago, movie publicist Ronnie Chasen was driving her Mercedes home on Sunset Boulevard when a gunman pulled up and opened fire.
The investigation into the mysterious murder of high-end Hollywood publicist Ronnie Chasen went markedly downscale last night when investigators went to question a man neighbors say called himself Harold in this seedy Hollywood apartment building. As officers approached him in the lobby, he took out a gun and shot himself.
Ever since Ronnie Chasen was mysteriously gunned down 2.5 weeks ago, the Beverly Hills cops have said next to nothing about their most high-profile murder investigation.
If there's one thing that we've seen in the last 2 weeks is that they knew a lot more than they were letting on.
That's because earlier this week, detectives showed up in force at this rundown Hollywood apartment building to question Harold Martin Smith, a so-called person of interest. But he shot and killed himself in front of police. TMZ reports that there is not yet any physical evidence linking him to Chasen's death.
Harold Martin Smith, in a couple of days, could end up being the guy or could end up being somebody who has nothing to do with this. The cops don't know yet.
Now, he shot himself in the head as cops tried to talk to him. This right here, this is the lobby of the apartment building where Smith killed himself. We're told the shooting was captured on surveillance tape, and there were several witnesses in the lobby at the time. Now, people who knew this guy say he served time for drugs and firearms charges and that he would rather die than go back to prison.
Well, he's got an extensive criminal history, and he had made statements that he was going to kill himself rather than go back to jail. Now, when law enforcement arrived, if he believed that he was going to go for those burglaries, in all likelihood, he took his own life. And if there's anybody that hired this man, they weren't thinking very well. This would be a real bad crime. Anybody involved with her is going to have the kind of money that would take to do the job done, get the job done correctly, if you will.
From law enforcement that they have unequivocally determined that this was a one-man job and that the one man was Harold Smith. But amongst the people here, that doesn't feel very settling and doesn't really necessarily match up to the evidence that we've been hearing, albeit what the detectives have called erroneous.
So what is some of that evidence which you say doesn't match up to, which is now being called erroneous, that raises some questions in your mind?
Well, right now, everybody, or the presumption was that there was 3 shots to Ronnie Chasen's chest and a couple of shots to her shoulders. That led a lot of investigators, a lot of analysts to determine that that was a professional hit. Unless we hear that that part of the earlier reports was erroneous, it still sounds a little bit strange that someone from a bicycle is able to shoot someone 3 times across the chest. Of course, Sergeant Snowden said, or Chief Snowden, excuse me, said that there has been erroneous reports, but he didn't go so far as to say what was erroneous. Also, where were the casings? Did Harold Smith pick up the casings? He never took anything from her vehicle. He was riding a bicycle all the way from Hollywood to Beverly Hills, which is a good 7 miles away from the scene of the crime, from where his house is, and not an area that's highly trafficked by bicycles. So still all these unanswered questions.